Welcome everyone to Zooming On Up on Made of Things. Our guest this week or this month or this year or this day, our guest today is Laraine Newman. You may know Lorraine from the first cast of Saturday Night Live and endless movie roles and endless voiceover work. And here is Lorraine. Hello, Lorraine. How are you?
Hi, you guys. I can't believe it. We've known each other how long, Antonio?
I think 10 years now.
10 years.
2011. When did you go to Coachella to do that article?
Oh, well, I started going in 2006.
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't. The stuff I wrote about Coachella was when I started my website. Chronology is not a strong suit with me, dear. I'm not good with that, but at least 10 years. And this is the first time I'm hearing your voice.
Yeah. Well, apart from when you supported the show by watching it. And I should start off by saying something that most people will not know, that Lorraine was pivotal in the pivotal in the seminal, right? But was in the seminal stages of Made of Things, because I consulted Lorraine on the concept of Made of Things when we started out as a podcast initially, and on the name. And Lorraine was very supportive. So thank you, Lorraine. And it was because of you that that's a great idea. I think you should run with that. And I was like, if Laraine Newman says
I didn't know that.
It's a good idea, then I will run with that.
Always happy to help.
There you go. So thank you so much, Lorraine. And the second tie-in is that we just did our first episode on these Zoom calls, and the first episode was with Paul F. Tompkins on that you mentioned on your memoir on the Dead Authors podcast, right at the end in the last few pages, that you were on as Mary Shelley. So there was a connection there as well. Yeah. So
if I had done my research, if I had done better research, I would have realized that she died quite young. And she wrote Frankenstein when she was like 19, and I should have played her young rather than this older British woman. But, oh well.
19 at the time was like 37 or something.
Right, exactly.
Which is the opposite now. I'm going to turn 40 next week, and I feel like I'm like, I don't know, 26 maybe.
Well, I'm 17, so.
Yeah, exactly. But, or I should just stop counting.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Age is just a number.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was when I turned 33, I was convinced I had turned 34, and I spent a whole year saying that I was 34 until Antonio told me, I'm turning so and so, and I'm like, oh, but we're like 5 years apart, so either you're older than you think you are, or I'm younger than I think I am.
I have never heard of that happening. That's fantastic. How did you feel having the extra year?
It felt good. Actually. Like I gained a year.
Well, it's true. This is very true. No, just forgot the age.
I forgot like dates.
Yeah, exactly.
And math.
Forgetting your
we
own
all
age
want to forget
is
math. All of us want to forget math.
Some of us work all our lives, I think, in order to forget our ages.
Certainly deep where I live.
It's not to be deep. It's just I was yes-anding, I think, myself. Yes-anding myself. Anyway, we have the lovely Laraine Newman on the show, and I would like to start off by saying that. Well, you just published your memoir, which I very much enjoyed. Yes. May You Live in Interesting Times. You guys should get it on Audible and everywhere, really. Amazon and stuff like that. It's everywhere, pretty much. And I read the whole thing. This was very enjoyable.
Thank you.
You're you're extremely candid throughout the whole thing. And it's not really a surprise, knowing you, but I get the impression that you of yourself think of yourself as a much less pleasant person than you are, I think. Because I've always known this lovely Lorraine.
Well,
And I was like, who's this person?
I had this conversation with my sister. I was staying with her for a while, and she was just walking around the kitchen, and she said, "I'm not a very nice person." And I said, "Are you kidding me? You are the nicest. Everybody loves you. You're, so supportive. I'm the one that's not nice." And she said, "Yeah, but everybody knows that about you." So, I mean, I try to be nice. I'm just, it's a work in progress. And when you say nice, it's just what I try to be in terms of being candid in the book is more having a real sober perspective on where I am. Not to have any kind of delusions of grandeur, because when you read memoirs, oftentimes people sugarcoat things, don't talk about failure, don't talk about fear or insecurity in the way that I was determined to do. Just because it's important, I think, for everybody to know that we go through these things.
Yeah, and as a neurodivergent person, I really enjoy like the candidness of like speaking about depression and mental illness and addiction. Like I really enjoyed like the candidness of it, like the rawness of it.
Thank you. I'm good. I was surprised by, when I did podcasts for like Dana Gould or Jimmy Pardo, these are kind of like guys, and yet that stuff really resonated with them, and they couldn't stop talking about it. And that meant so much to me, because it meant that what I went through, my thought process, my feelings, very universal.
And also as a performer, there's always that sense of, I guess you would assume that most performers have this, as a sense of self-doubt and how do you say this famous self-sabotaging kind of way,
right? Or like imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, exactly. That's what I want to say. There's always that imposter syndrome, right? Like, and you kind of describe that extensively in the book while you were especially at SNL, and especially after SNL. You kind of describe that in the book very extensively. But you don't. Do you still feel that now? Because I mean,
no, I don't, because I've had enough experience to know what I'm capable of, and I've been able to show myself that I have some skills here and there. But when you're very young and you haven't had a lot of experience, that kind of stuff is crucial, to know that you can survive stuff. There's also the fact that if you are someone who really loves their work, you are always learning. And it's kind of painful when you watch something that you did and it's like, oh, I would have done that differently. And there's no performer that doesn't feel that. None.
No.
So that's just a natural frustration that we all feel. But it's like, for me, I get very focused on how good other people are. And so, which is a very typical thing we do, is compare and despair. But, I think I've just had so much affirmation in the last, I would say, 25, 30 years or so, that I don't go through it as much. I mean, this is the thing that I have learned, is we're not going to get rid of these aspects of our nature. We're just going to listen to them less.
Plus, have you called any critics of back in the 70s to ask if you're still not ready for prime time? Maybe they're dead, all of them.
Yeah, maybe.
Am I not ready for prime time now, suckers? You bunch of morons. This show is an interview form, and regarding what you're saying, like, I tend to interpret this show as also it's not very serious most of the time, and even though we're approaching this in a more serious manner because the book handles some very sensitive subjects, and we'll have plenty of time to muck about, but
do whatever you want. I'm here for
absolutely.
you.
but this show, I edit myself. I've always edited myself. So I look at myself a lot, and I think more than maybe most people in their day-to-day life.
Oh yeah, much more. Like I really
so
admire that. Like if I were to be editing myself and my face and my voice, like almost every day, I would lose it probably.
Yeah, and in the sense that you want to get better, and I want to get better always because I love what I do, and I want to get better always. It's really sometimes exhausting to really go over everything by watching yourself and like, oh, I'm so sick of myself now. And what I would say that the ratio of me getting fed up with myself or criticizing myself has gone down because I guess I've been getting better to my own eyes. So I get more comfortable. So there's a self-affirmation, throughout the years by getting better to yourself.
I know myself, and I don't watch my stuff anymore because I know that that's my reaction. That it's like, oh, you could have done, oh, why didn't you? Oh, that wasn't very good, And sometimes it's like, oh, that was better than I thought, So I just know not to watch myself anymore. I go by what the audience reaction is.
That's all I do, though. So I just watch myself. It's why have I chosen this for myself? I don't know.
Well, I tend to think that like if I watch myself immediately after doing something or playing a show or recording this show, I tend to always think of myself in a negative way as soon as I do it. But if some time passes and I look at it again, even if it's like a week or a month, then I'm like, like that's actually fine.
It's like your driver's license. It's like, this picture sucks. 10 years later, I was pretty cute.
Even though I have the worst picture of, I don't have a driver's license, but I went to UC Berkeley for a semester. And they took my picture for the university card, and it was just like, go into the room, snap, we're done. And I was just like, and the photo was the most horrible photo of me that I've ever seen.
No!
And that was my official document while I was in the United States. Of me going like,
so you're not from here? Ooh,
barely recognizable.
At least with guys usually we can have some beards and long hair. Like my ID. Yeah. My ID card right now is from a few years ago, and I had like thick beard and long hair, and so I haven't shaved, but I kind of look different. So I guess like if I go somewhere once this is over, because we're possibly not going anywhere, anywhere now. But once I go somewhere else abroad. I'll have a new ID, otherwise they'll look at me and go like, "Ooh, this is not the same person."
In my passport, I for my American passport, I dress myself up like really fancy and just hid my earrings and my piercings and everything, so I wouldn't get recognized by like face IDs or anything.
Clever.
Yeah, and just completely changed like how I looked, just for the passport.
Traveling hacks
when you're a punk.
yeah. As shown by the myriad of tattoos.
Because I used to go to a lot of what you call them, like manifestações.
Rallies.
Yeah, like rallies and stuff like that, and stuff would get pretty heated, and I didn't want like my passport to match my face.
Well, Berkeley.
Yeah, Berkeley and San Francisco,
You got to be paranoid, man.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of looks, in your book you describe being bullied by your looks. I mean, but then kind of, right? Like early on. And
the braces.
And the braces. Yeah. And I get
the body brace, and the acne, and being skinny, and having a big nose.
Back acne as well. It's not pleasant. Thankfully, I could hide it. But not
I didn't
face.
have
I have like this baby face. But
I didn't have back acne. I wore a back brace.
I know, because people now listening to this, like, that's so far gone, I believe. I had to explain this to a friend of mine. Oh, because I'm reading this, and the author had braces and stuff like that. And she was much younger. My friend was like, oh, I had braces too, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, but you don't understand. Like, back then, braces were like a whole thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And for headgear and stuff like that. So people were misconstrued as being ugly when they weren't. And so I was like, when you went to SNL, you were given all the sexy roles, though.
I know. I never understood why, but I was happy to have airtime, you know.
So that's, but when I was saying that, connecting the two was like, obviously you didn't look back and say like, oh, those guys were wrong. We're like, why are they doing this to me? Because I'm the headgear girl, right? Because
I'm the what?
The headgear girl that was bullied for being
right,
ugly.
because I still see myself that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still, you know, it's funny how that lingers in one's psyche.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see myself that way. And when I meet people who say, you know, I had such a crush on you, it's like, really? You know, I couldn't imagine it, you know. And it's one of these days, I'll be 70 in March. One of these days I'll realize maybe I was cute. Maybe I was.
I remember, actually, this is not to go private, but I remember one of the first times that we spoke over the internet. I was like, oh, but because of some reason, like, oh, you were so adorable and cute, like back in the sketches and on SNL.
Were past tense?
No, we're back in those in the.
Thank you. No. A woman's perspective, a person's perspective.
Exactly.
Sorry, person.
But no, I totally understand. I totally understand the nuance. What I'm saying is like I'm specifically referring to the stuff I knew from SNL. So
right. Okay.
So no, but I was like, oh, back in the SNL sketches, what do you mean you were so cute and stuff like that? And oh, that's all I ever wanted to hear. That's what you said. I totally remember
I
this.
think, you know,
and I was like,
a lot of girls who did not think they were attractive went into comedy.
Yeah.
Because that was the way we could get attention from guys, especially.
Even yesterday, I saw a comment on Twitter like, "No one this hot should be allowed to be this funny" or something. People say that.
Huh?
Yeah.
About
my kids would prove them wrong.
Yeah. Like
my kids are good-looking people and they're funny.
No, exactly. But I was one of the other things that when we met or started when we became friends was like you were going to do some articles at Coachella, so you did some interviews. Something that I like about doing interviews with musicians that I've done a lot over the years, it's been mostly my career, is like asking people stuff that usually they don't get asked. Did you have an experience like that, like interviewing the band and was like, they've possibly never been asked this, or I don't feel, I don't know, I think I'm possibly doing something that's not typical.
Well, I wasn't a rock critic.
Yeah.
So I interviewed Ryan Radden, who's Cascade. And that was the only article I did. Otherwise, anything I wrote about Coachella just ended up on my website. And those are kind of extensive. But and I even did a performance piece about Coachella. I just love it so much. But, you know, I asked him questions about, like, you know, I noticed that his lyrics were very empathic about the girl in the story, you know. And I talked about how Coachella is such a great place for collaboration. And he said, gosh, these are questions nobody's ever asked. And of course I would, because what do I know? You know?
Well, you know what you're doing, and I think of what you were doing there, and something that I started to do early on is like, if you do your own perspective, you're never wrong. And no one can take that away from you. So it's always exclusive. Like, it's how you feel and it's your perspective. So there's always something to of course I build over that to be an idiot, but and try to be funny. But even on a serious perspective, that's always something that no one can take from you, I think. Like your own, like perspective on someone's work and how you feel about it, right?
I'm usually a fan of people.
Yeah. That's how I started Made of Things. Like I've been doing this for almost 20 years now, and but Made of Things started 6 years ago, and it was an excuse for me to speak to only people that I love, really. So here we are.
Good idea.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And that's all we do. And we just started actually, and I just started doing we've been listening to improv for, this is kind of a self-plug, but it's just because it's new. We just recorded the second episode. We started a beer podcast called Made of Cerveja, which is beer in Portuguese. And it's about beer, but it's a comedy improv show. And it's like 20 minutes, and I go into characters, and that's something I have no training apart from listening experience, and it's been going oddly well. It's just,
that's great.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm not a comedian like in the slightest, and like
learning
how to yes and the situation.
Yeah, we just have this imprinted. Like I just reheard you on PFT on Dead Authors, and I'm amazed at improv, and I've loved improv, and like the quickness in which you did Mary Shelley, and the sheer idiocy of it, like it's just so it's just so superficially stupid.
Dead Authors has to be like my favorite.
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, it's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
And
I study literature, so it has like an added layer.
Yes.
Yeah. So we just found out that we love improv. So that has that happened to you, like going further down your career and finding out that you love something completely different?
Let me think about that. That's a great question. Certainly there are things that you try in life, and I've always tried to say yes to things, because I was just talking to someone the other day who mentioned that, we do a lot of things for no money because they're fun.
Uh-huh.
But then we meet a lot of people, and that ends up maybe connecting us up to a real job. And, if nothing else, we make new friends. And are exposed to more stuff that we love. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I never expected to be as interested in cooking as I am. I never expected to be as interested in social media, although everybody is, it's so addictive. But I'm hard-pressed to think about things that surprise me that I'm interested in, because, I mean, you know how much I love electronic dance music, and, I never expected that because it didn't exist.
Yeah. True.
And I never expected, the thing about Coachella is it's 100 degrees and it's dirty. And I am a Jewish woman. And, there's just, those two things do not match up. And yet I just was so happy there all the time. It didn't bother me.
But how come, though? Because I don't know if we met. We have like one Jewish friend, I think, maybe two. Why though? Because a lot of people. You have more.
Yeah, because like I live in the United States.
Oh yeah, of course. But I don't know that many Jewish people. Why do they don't mix?
What? Why? What?
Why do they don't mix those things? Because
because
we're
Jewish,
sissies. And I hate heat and.
We're a bunch of sissies. That's why.
We're delicate, honey. We're a bunch of sissies. Oh, you heard? Oh, I got a raspberry on my elbow. Oh, no. What are you talking about, camping? I might as well be homeless. For crying out loud.
No, that's a terrible stereotype.
I hate those things too.
Most Jews I know are real studs anyway, but I just was never the kind of person that particularly loved the outdoors. When I was a kid, I went camping all the time. I really loved it. But growing up, it was like not something I was interested in, and I don't like getting dirty, and I don't like walking around dirty. It's just, the kind of person I'm, it's a joke. guys. When I say I'm a Jewish woman, it's kind of a joke, but
no, I get that. So I was just like, if there was something specific, because I didn't know, because I have to shower every day as well, otherwise I can't function. I'm like,
I am a punk.
And no is a punk, so no.
So I'm a little bit more flexible on that end.
Yes.
Nice.
Sometimes you go on tour and you cannot shower every day, and it's like 8 people in the van, and you just like one person showers a day, and we have to rotate. And so, yeah, it gets really, really, really messy. I even have a tattoo, a tour tattoo that I did, which is like a recipe of beer, and it has
it's down there. Unfortunately, it's hard.
It has the result of the ingredients being added is like a beer, and it has some flies on it, just because like it represented me. By the end of the tour, I smelled so bad. So bad.
I'll send you an email, and I'll put the photo up on the episode.
Please.
But yeah, it's true, and it's really funny, by the way. the tattoo.
I believe you.
Yes, it's really funny because it's really cute, and it's all smiley and cartoony and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Hannah just this week. Hannah Einbinder, Lorraine's daughter, who's also an actress and a comedian who I find hilarious. I've seen Hannah's stand up. It's really good, and I think it's super charming. Because it was like this film noir kind of feel, but also ridiculous. And I immediately I had never seen Hannah before, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's hilarious. But
she was
Hannah
nominated
just
for
got
an Emmy.
An Emmy nomination, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that must be...
We're so excited. She just texted me today because she's going to be doing Colbert's show on Thursday, the 22nd, and she's doing The Couch.
Oh,
yeah. The Couch, guys.
Yeah.
So invited to be sitting down.
Yeah, she's nervous because she's like, what am I going to talk about? I said, well, why not make a list of the things that you decided not to talk about and talk about those things?
Sound advice.
It's so tricky. But she's having the time of her life. It's so exciting. And she's got such great friends. And my God, that cast on Hacks is just incredible. I haven't seen it,
though. Where is it on?
Guys, it's on HBO Max.
Oh, it's HBO Max. We have regular HBO, not
well, then
HBO.
You're eligible to get HBO Max.
That's true. We have the privilege to have.
No, but I mean, it's not an extra cost.
No, I'm sorry.
It's not an extra cost.
Oh, isn't it? Oh,
no.
I thought it was.
No, if you have HBO Max is free.
Well, we're sitting on it then.
Yeah.
No, we'll check that out then. Because what I'd seen on HBO precisely was Spike was on Los Spookies that we were watching.
Yes.
With Fred Armisen, who you also know.
And Julio.
And it's a hilarious show. And suddenly I recognized Spike. I know how I recognized them, but I think maybe from your posts online or something, but I recognized Spike, and I was really thrilled that Spike were on such a fun show. There you go.
I know.
Again.
Spike is brilliant, very, very brilliant. Their mind is just. I mean, I've never seen anything like their material, and they've been great since they were 15.
And I've never. Is there a place where we can see Spike's
well, they don't post
stand-up
a lot
stuff
of their
or something?
stuff.
Because I've never seen.
If you go on Instagram, they have a drag character they do called Candy Dish. Go on their Instagram, and there's lots of like categories there, and you can click on stuff, and you'll see some of the work that they do.
Okay. I haven't seen that though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they really are kind of not great about promoting themselves, and Spike is a they, and themselves, and
I
so
heard Spike is a bae. Okay.
Is a bae and a they.
It's a bae.
Yeah.
Spike is a they. Yes.
Shout out to all theys out there.
Theys.
It was non-binary day yesterday or the day before.
Just now,
Just now, so like. Hooray for us.
My friend Amy Yazbek, that I know from Problem Child 2, we just like connected again. And so I said, how's your daughter? And she said, well, here's the thing. I now have a son, that's so interesting. I was at a party on Sunday and I was talking to some man. And he said, yeah, didn't your kid go to Wildwood? And I said, yeah. And didn't they go to the new school? Well, we found out our kids both went to Wildwood. Our kids both went to the new school in New York. And now our kids are both non-binary. And I thought, gee, what are the odds of that? It's everywhere. People are getting to be able to understand how they can define themselves, which is great.
Possibly something that's always, I'm sure something that's always happened and people just didn't have the tools to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah, and the whole discourse wasn't readily available to understand gender and gender issues as much. And so now it's every day, it seems like someone new comes out as non-binary, and it's really, really fun to watch and exciting times.
And you've this is a segment. Before we go to the segments, you've been very vocal about your love of Kristen Wiig over the years, and I remember saying how much you love Kirsten. Then you met and did some stuff for Vogue.
I just think for Glamour. It was just
Glamour magazine or something.
Yeah, to promote the
Glamour
40th
magazine.
Anniversary.
Not to
as if
quote,
Glamour magazine is going to sponsor us.
No, as if Glamour magazine even cares what I say. You should, Glamour magazine, get on it. But who are your favorite comedians right now? It's not to be a pocket question. I'm generally interested.
Well, Hannah and Spike Einbinder.
Yes.
Gosh. Oh, well, always Maria Bamford. And are you talking about sketch players or comedians?
Anything.
Well, I love all the girls on SNL. All of them. Every single one of them.
They're doing such a great job.
They are.
Yeah. Are you talking about across the board, any gender?
Any gender.
Yeah.
Well, it'll always be people like Dana Gould and the Sklar brothers and Patton Oswalt. Yeah. Paul F. Tompkins. There are so many interesting new people. Hannah's boyfriend, Alex Edelman, is terrific.
Haven't seen Alex yet.
Yeah, well, he's you just look him up. You can see his stand-up. He's terrific. One of my favorite lines of his is from, I'm from the racist part of Boston called Boston. But he's great. I haven't been able to, ever since Meltdown closed, I haven't really been able to see new people the way I used to. And I really feel bad about that. I haven't been able to go out and see new stand-up, and every once in a while I'll go to Dynasty Typewriter, which was used to be a great theater called the Hayward, and they have their stuff is incredible, the stuff that they show. And there's a guy named Drew Droege who is a groundling who has written a play. Do you know him?
Yes, I'm fully aware. Chloe.
Yeah. So he's, people
I'm
like
Chloe
that.
Sevigny.
Chloe Sevigny, that's right, that's true. God,
Toast.
Kate Berlant, Emily Heller, Judy
Heller,
Gold,
Kate Berlant.
Randy
Kate Berlant is
Liebman.
hilarious.
I mean, I could go on and on.
Yeah.
There are just so many people. Oh, Jackie Cation. Jackie
Cation
Cation is a machine.
Mm.
She is a machine, a joke machine. So consistent. There's no uhs or knows or ums. Just
I do a lot of hums.
Her.
Then again, I'm not a stand-up comedian, and I've been forced to. My friends have forced to. I haven't been forced to, but my friends have been like, "You should do a stand-up act," and I'm like, I don't want to do stand-up at all. If anything, I'll go live and say stupid things on top of my head, but I'm not. I really don't want to project myself as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, but more of an improv person.
Yeah, I think more of an improv person. Originally, when I was initially thinking of doing something in the entertainment business, I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to do stand-up, but no, maybe I will someday. But right now, I think improv is the way. I'm going to take an improv course in 2 months or 3 months, so we'll see how that goes. So. So yeah, I'm not plugging myself because I haven't done anything yet. But yeah, absolutely. I love Kate Berland's the characters on Netflix episode is so stupid. And John Early.
John Early, I love John Early.
I just
what is John Early's dance that is like the most absurd dance that I've ever seen?
It's on Wet Hot American Summer, I think. The third series. The series. Yeah, he does this dance and steals the whole thing.
It's like 1 minute of absurd dancing. It's
just amazing. Like it's the most ridiculous physical comedy I've ever seen. It's really good.
I think we watched it like 7 times. Like when we watched it the first time, we were just like, no, rewind.
No, it's just incredible. And you just mentioned like a few minutes ago, you mentioned Problem Child 2, and I think that's the first memory I have of your work. Lawanda is so iconic, I think. I don't even remember the kid.
I had no idea how iconic Lawanda was until I've had people come up to me and say, I was Lawanda for Halloween. That blew my mind.
Oh,
and also, I found that security guards always recognized me from that movie. I don't know why, but it's quite often security guards recognize me.
It's a niche.
It's a niche.
It's a niche.
You've hit that security guard niche, Lorraine.
Yeah.
But let's not deny any niches.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I want to hit the bread making niche.
Oh, I used to make bread even before the pandemic. No, I had a bread machine, and never have I ever made a good loaf of bread.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never gotten, those crock pots. I have never made anything good in a crock pot. Everything turns to mush.
I don't know what the crock pot is.
It's like a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's slow cooking, whereas a pressure cooker is fast cooking.
Yeah.
Speaking of cooking, when did Hannah and Spike start enjoying the meals? Because the book is packed with great stories, and feeding the children is great. The eggplant, I think, is hysterical. I won't spoil anything. I'm sorry. It's really hot because we're in Portugal. So so it's hot during summer, and plus we have the studio lights on.
I'm in Southern California. You think I don't know what you're talking about?
I know that you know what we're talking about. So that's why we can connect, because I've heard from people that have been in both places and said that it's very similar weather, LA and Lisbon.
Actually, when I was in LA, I was in December and January for just one day, and because I was coming from San Francisco, LA was just freezing. It was just like -1 degrees or 2, and I was so used to just like wearing like a sundress.
San Francisco is colder than LA.
Yeah, I just caught like a weird few days.
Yes, you must have.
In which LA was the coldest.
Wow, I'm sorry. I apologize for LA.
I still enjoyed LA. Yeah.
Okay.
But you're not melting over there in LA, are you, at the moment?
Well, I'm in my house a lot of the time. Once I go out, it's hot. But I like that we have dry heat. We don't have moist heat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're by the river. And by the seaside,
and the ocean.
So it's definitely there's more humidity, but it's also milder, I would say, than dry heat. Then again, we have everything closed because of the noise at the moment. So obviously no fans on.
My God.
So that's why
the studio lights.
I'm really sweaty.
It's not reading on the camera. The sweat is not reading on the camera.
Yeah, no, it's fine over there. One segment I would like to wait, I just remembered something. Okay, because you've written a memoir, you realize that you might have spoiled the hack joke of saying that's the name of my autobiography. Now, because now you have one.
Yeah.
So
right.
That's the name of my autobiography. Oh wait.
Right. Is that the
No,
same
it
thing
isn't.
as like when you see like a homeless person, you go, "That's my agent," or "That's my ex-husband"? Is that the same thing where someone says, and then my ass fell off? That's the name of my autobiography. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. So now you can say anymore like, that's the name of my autobiography. Oh, no, because I haven't. Because now that you have a memoir, well,
I never thought of that. That is absolutely just taken me out of that world of possibility. I feel terrible.
Well, here's a motive to do anything, like just ruin hack jokes.
Yeah.
It's not as I don't like to shit talk jokes. I mean, not to badmouth jokes and stuff like that. Like any joke is whatever. Apart from that's what she said.
That's what your mother said.
It can be very funny, but
It usually isn't.
It usually isn't. Then again, people will disagree.
People
Or
will
if
disagree
if
on
a
a lot of things.
If
If the story goes nowhere, this is my favorite one. This is Paul Rubens' one, which is when you tell a story that goes nowhere, he'll go, "I love that story." So you can have that one too.
That's very good. That's very good. I've never heard that. Well, there's a segment on this show that I've decided to do with Paul and Janie, and I'm going to do as well with you, which are Portuguese expressions that translate poorly into English.
All right.
So this week, on this episode, the expressions are macaquinhos no sótão. Nuno isn't
so
aware of
pretty.
this.
God, that sounds so pretty.
Macaquinhos no sótão, or ter macaquinhos no sótão, to have monkeys in the attic.
Little monkeys in the attic.
Little monkeys in the attic. Exactly.
Does that mean that you're
Macaquinhos.
restless?
It means that you distrust something. You have little monkeys in the attic regarding something.
That are...
Yeah, they're just like...
Oh, that's interesting.
They're chomping away.
Yeah.
Or doing, I don't know.
mischievous things.
I don't really know.
But give me a context for it.
Well, it's hard though. It's like, help me out on this one, please.
If Antonio is paranoid about like something that I said or did.
So it means paranoid. That's what I was going to say.
much.
It sounds like it means
paranoid. That's a great one. So that's okay. Now, if you feel paranoid about anything, you can have little monkeys in the attic, Lorraine, if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Or little.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yay! Another one is to ir com os porcos, which is kind of vulgar, I think, but not too much. But it literally translates to go with the pigs, or to go with the pigs, which means to pass away, or just be gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Why
something
pigs?
that goes with the pigs is something that it's
Why
kind of blown up
pigs?
or something.
Wow.
Something fui com os porcos. Just destroyed
Is it
or something.
is it like drop dead or fuck off? I mean,
It's not an insult. It's like
You're referring
you can
to
though.
someone or something else.
You
someone
can
who's
though.
passed
So it's
away?
not direct, like you don't tell
guess
someone to go with the pigs. You tell
So it's like-
someone else is gone with the pigs.
No,
Or
actually,
what
you
about
can,
this?
though. I
You
think
can?
you could. Oh, you go with the pigs. Yeah, like
it
you
sounds
fuck
like
off.
it sounds also like what we say. They bought the farm.
Oh.
That means that someone died. That they bought the farm.
Oh.
And because pigs are on a farm, get it? I mean, it sounds like they're almost the same. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of like going with the pigs. Like I don't know, because pigs get roasted.
Pigs like actually can devour a person really quickly.
Yeah. So it's kind of the opposite. You go with the pigs.
So
maybe you
maybe-
went with the pigs because you were eaten by the pigs.
Maybe. Or then
Oh.
you went with the pigs because the pigs were eaten.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Initially,
Yeah.
like you went with the pigs because the pigs, none of it's left. We ate all of it, with because we eat the whole pig in Portugal.
I just
And everywhere
don't
else
see how
people
it relates
eat
to
the whole
death. I don't.
Yes.
I don't see it.
Well,
Just solar and sunny conversations.
exactly. Exactly. Well, there's we have a lot of goth Portuguese people, so the
Nice.
famous
Yeah.
Portuguese goths. Yeah.
There was a website
Pink
called
goths.
Goths in Hot Weather.
Oh,
And it was
that's-
just pictures
That's
of
great.
Yeah. And so they rated the pictures in terms of gothness and heat. And I was actually on there. Someone took a picture of me and I was on there. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, you know us, pink goths. We are a goth, but we also go to the beach. Well, goths go.
Pink goths. I
Pink
love
goths,
it.
yeah. Peaches, the singer, once told me that, like, because you guys are like pink goths, because you're all goth, but then it's all sunny and you have no reasons to be to be gloomy.
miserable.
Yeah. The food is great and everything's fine.
And most goths here aren't miserable.
yeah, it's just
funny.
like an outlook on life,
Yeah.
but you're okay with
It's
it.
just like liking miserable things, but not being miserable
But
at
not
all.
really, yeah, exactly. Not going out and it's the snow, and if we venture out 5 feet from our house, we die, and it's
They're
just
happy subversives.
yeah, happy subversives,
Exactly.
exactly, which is a fine way to be. Mm-hmm. Yes, and the last one is these are all animal related this week for some reason, but it's tirar o well, I apologize. Tirar o cavalinho da chuva.
Oh, I love this one.
This is great. Translates to take the little horse out of the rain. And it means to quit something.
Or to give up on an idea.
Yeah, to quit an idea, mostly.
Yeah.
So, like, if someone says, you go, I'm trying to get you to come with me to something. Oh, you can take the little horse out of the rain. Because I'm not going. You can quit that idea because I'm not going.
How did they ever get to that?
I don't know.
That
no
is
idea.
mystifying.
Yeah.
Only little horse I know is little Sebastian from Parks and Recreation. Otherwise, I don't know any little horses. My Little Pony, I guess.
Do you know when people are people who don't see or have like eye problems,
Visually impaired.
visually impaired? I was missing the word, but when they're allergic to dogs, they actually use like miniature ponies, not even ponies, it's just like mini ponies as like seeing eye ponies.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
it's
great.
adorable.
I'll
It's
bet.
adorable.
I'll bet it is. Aw. Oh my God.
I would take that little
Horses.
horse out of the rain.
We're not quitting on that idea. Well, Lorraine, another segment that we're doing is what have you ordered online throughout the pandemic?
Oh my God. I've ordered so many things, and quite a few have been a mistake.
Oh, really?
God.
Those are the ones we want to know now.
One is, this is actually a pretty good product. I can't remember the brand name, but bamboo is one of the hardest woods that exists, and it's very prolific, and it grows really fast, and they've started making paper products out of bamboo because they're so enduring that you can put them in the washing machine, and they last for like over a month, one sheet of a paper towel. But I have found that it becomes less and less absorbent, which is the purpose of a paper towel. So I was using it to like crisp my lettuce. But let's see, what else did I get?
That does sound like a good idea, though, on paper.
It is.
Towels.
It is. It saves a lot of rainforest for sure. I'm trying to think. There's just so much stuff I've bought. Of course, the endless search for a comfortable bra.
Okay.
Endless, and I get so angry when it's not living up to the promise, and I send stuff back all the time. So I have a whole file in my emails of like merchant credits, you know.
Have you tried not ordering thorny bras?
I didn't
With
think
spikes.
of
You should
that.
start with that.
Spikes like turned
I
inside.
did
Because that's
not-
my problem. I always ordered like the inner word thorny bras, so it hurts.
I don't know why I didn't think of that.
I know, right? It was trial and error with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the comfortable bra doesn't exist. There is no such thing, and it's like the Holy Grail. If someone can come up with that, forget about it.
Shark
a bra
Tank
that
immediately.
doesn't start strangling you at 4 PM.
Or just poking you like in the boob like real soon.
Poking you in the boob real soon. We basically order. I've been mostly ordering craft beer throughout the pandemic, and no, just ordered a guitar.
Yeah, I ordered
Yeah.
a guitar.
Yeah,
Oh, how nice!
and studio material. I ordered studio material as well, and this and stuff. The lights that don't show up because I'm not filming them. Lorraine, we should get on to the made of things questions.
All right.
Because the show is called Made of Things, as you're well aware, because I consulted you first and foremost. But based on the idea that you've dedicated yourself to art and a whole life of trials and tribulations with the industries, artistic and entertainment industries, because you love what you do. Was that triggered by anything in particular in your case? Like, was there a moment in which you you were watching something or experienced anything that made you go, oh, I want to do that? Because you describe in the book like being on the Kids Say the Darndest Things, but I'm not sure that was the precise moment, like that you wanted to
No, it wasn't.
to
When
do
I was
something.
I think I was around 4 years old, and someone took me to a play, and it was a play for kids. And then, it was like a prince and a princess. And I went backstage and I saw the actors in their makeup, and they were just so beautiful, and the smell of the makeup and everything. And I thought, I want to be a part of that world. But I never put it together that it was about creativity. The creativity is about making the world the way you want it, or, seeing that your perspective on the world might be a little bit different, but when you share it, people like it. I mean, that's the other discovery that you make. So, it's all about not being alone.
Yeah. And what about three? Well, it's always. It's definitely about connecting, right?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And do you? Another made of things thing that we do is, would you name 3 things that you're made of? Very much on the spot, very important.
Soft cheese, like brie or something.
Excellent choice.
See. A remote control. This is off the top of my head. And proactive acne cleanser. That's, you asked for off the top of my head, that's what you get.
Yes, exactly.
Still using an acne cleanser. I have geriatric acne.
That's how we roll. That's how we roll. That's pretty much 3 first things that you can come up with that define you. Yes, but these stick with you forever. So it's on the spot, very important.
God,
then it's
damn
online forever. Yes, exactly. One last thing, because I forgot about mentioning voiceover work. Do you have any favorites? Because you've done so many, and you've done like Adventure Time and Metalocalypse, that like stuff that we love.
I love Metalocalypse.
And listening to it, and you were on Comedy Bang Bang for a little bit, and on Birthday Boys for a little bit. Those are like my favorite things almost. So it's always a joy when you're on stuff, because usually you're on stuff that we really like.
Well,
so,
I have a new show that just started on Netflix called Ridley Jones.
Oh,
and
I haven't heard of this. Please.
Yeah, these are all kids shows, so why would you? But it's really good.
Well, you'd be surprised.
The person who creates it is a woman named Chris Nee. And she created a show called Doc McStuffins, which is like a Peabody and Emmy Award-winning show. A show called Vampirina, and Ridley Jones, and I've been on all of them. And then she created another one that is being produced by the Obamas called We the People, and it teaches civics to kids. And it's all songs, and it's like, you know, Adam Lambert and you know, Janelle Monáe and all these people, you know, amazing people. So, and it's only like each episode is like 15 minutes long. And it's called We the People. I don't know what the platform is that it shows on, but that's one of her shows too. She's amazing. And, you know, she always has female lead characters. Doc McStuffins was a girl who wanted to be a doctor, and her stuffed animals came alive when nobody was looking, and there was always a situation with them. And it just helps kids with their issues, always, you know?
Oh, that's really cute.
That's really adorable.
Yeah, it's very cute. It's wonderful. And this show is really fun.
And do you have any other favorites that you've done? Like
that
in terms of...
I loved As Told by Ginger. That was a Nickelodeon show that was for tweens. I mean, there had never been a show like that before. And the talent on it was just, you know, it was Tom Kenny and, you know, Tress MacNeille and Jeannie Elias and Charlie Adler and Melissa Disney. I mean, all these amazing, amazing people on it. And I loved my character. I was the crusty but benevolent mother to the main character. I was Lois Foutley. I was a nurse. And I loved that show.
Oh, so cool. So cool. And I just had something that I wanted to. I just drew a blank now. This is really weird. We've been on for an hour, but
did you want to talk about the Lily Tomlin sketch?
Oh, we were watching. We were just taking in. I did not
rewatching some of your stuff, and we were watching the Sorority sketch with Lily Tomlin.
Susie Sorority. Right?
Oh my god,
Susie Sorority. But it wasn't that
dropped
many
on the floor. Like,
it wasn't so few lines as you described in the book, right? Like, I'm sorry.
No, it's
because
not.
In the book you say like I only say this and that, but actually you have quite a few lines.
Oh no, what I'm saying is when they had the read through, the table read, I had one line, and I got such a laugh on that one line that they gave me more to do. That's what happened, which was a thrill. And, you know, I wish I'd worn a bra. But the girl that was in the other girl that was in the sketch, Valerie Bromfield, is also one of my favorite funny people, even though she didn't really pursue it. She's now a college professor.
Oh, really?
But she's one of the funniest people that's ever lived. She used to be...
The blonde girl that's beside you?
Yes.
Okay.
Dan Aykroyd's partner in Canada. They used to be performing partners. And she's also one of the funniest people that ever lived.
I just because we were just taking in the most Lorraine as possible, and I didn't realize that you were on the Sesame Street movie because I watched that a lot of times when I was a kid. So many times when I was a kid, and I didn't know so many things like, and I did some stuff I didn't know, like I didn't know the. Obviously, Wild and Crazy Guys, I remember, but no, you're a bit player there. But on that sketch, but the on the. And then there's the that's ridiculous. It's amazing, and I didn't know the one with Godfather's therapy. I had never seen that one. You have quite an extensive monologue there.
That's my monologue from the Groundlings.
I know.
I wrote that when I was still in the Groundlings.
And it's on the audition tape as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because we saw that. Yeah.
We watched it.
And it was pretty much lifted, right? Like.
Yeah, just completely
lifted. Well, that's confirmation of how funny it was. So there you go. And so I know what I wanted to ask. Just as a closer, if you're still out there doing improv classes and improv shows and stuff like that. Well, not now during this period.
I can't. But before that, I was part of an improv group that was Alumni Groundlings.
Oh, okay.
And but it's just for fun. We don't do shows. It's just for like goofing around. But since then, I haven't really been able to be a part of a The only thing I've been doing in terms of performance is there's this guy named Eugene Pack who created a show called Celebrity Autobiography, which is a great show, Drama Desk Award winning show, Broadway. But he has also written these 10-minute comedies. He writes 5 new ones every week. And if you go on, it's called the Pack Podcast, P-A-C-K.
Oh,
you will
okay.
not believe the people that are performing on these plays. And that's what I've been doing a lot of, too, which has been so much fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Lorraine, thank you. Because you mentioned that on the show, by the way, in the book.
Yes.
I like on the closing
Right,
Celebrity Autobiography, because this...
Yes.
When you said the Eugene Pack and Celebrity Autobiography, I was like, oh, that's in the book. Yeah, okay, yeah. Lorraine, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
This is very
guys.
fun.
Yeah, it was. Thanks to great to finally meet you, too.
Thank you. Well, to finally be able to speak in
Yes.
real time. And have a more of a feel of how it is to be in person.
Yeah.
That's which is luckily one of the things that's come of this interesting time.
Of this interesting time. At least Zoom exists.
At least people have gone on Zoom, and now we can speak even if we're half a world away, which is our case.
I know. Isn't that fabulous?
We just lost the sound.
I just lost the signal because I'm dumb. Because I just messed up. Is this on?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying,
Yeah, I
isn't that
can.
fabulous?
No, it was on this end. I'm sorry, what?
Isn't that fabulous?
You were saying, you can talk to people halfway around the world. And I said, isn't that fabulous?
Yes, absolutely it is.
Yes.
And it was fabulous having you on, Lorraine.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Let's do this in a year's time.
Okay.
Okay, let's check up
All
on
right,
each other.
guys.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you
Bye.
so much. Bye.